It's Coast to Coast time, fresh of a win over Adelaide thanks to West Coast Health and High Performance. Get in touch with Tex and the team at westcoasthealth.com.au. Oscar Allen joins us, Hammer Brayshaw. Very close, no cigar against Subiaco, but an impressive effort by the Waffle Eagles.
Yep, it was. Welcome back.
Welcome. Good to see you both.
Yeah, tremendous.
The two Adelaide teams, straight out Tuesday afternoon to Victoria. Collingwood are going, hang on, what we are meant to be going over there, and there's massive confusion as to where the games are being played, but that's the world we're in.
I'm not sure how long this can be played out for. Hammer, thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are on the matter. Players are reticent and don't want to hub again.
Yep.
We were met with the players, and the Players Association made that abundantly clear that is not, not something that is going to be a viable solution going forward. I think the AFL would potentially pitch it again, but I don't know how it would be received. And if that is the case and players don't want to hub, you feasibly can't continue for the time being, and I think you have to sit out for a couple of weeks.
I dare say it would be heard upon deaf ears, similar to the actual first Zoom meeting we had at the start of 2020, where I'm not sure if you remember it, but all the AFL players, so the whole AFL was in this Zoom meeting, and you had a name on the top, and I'm not sure if we should, well, we'll say it anyway. They took out someone's name, so whoever it was took out their name and said, "G'day, Jake Waterman here."
Jake Waterman here.
Jake Waterman here, and start asking stupid questions in front of the whole AFL community.
Yeah.
So now I'm sure that anytime anyone plays the Eagles or Jake Waterman thing, this guy's the biggest idiot ever. He held us in that Zoom call for half an hour asking stupid questions.
So funny that we can reveal now that I believe it might have been Jared Brander who first of all put his...
have been.
You can go on, you can put just iPhone, so it's not, if I'm on there it says Hamish Brayshaw's phone or Hamish Brayshaw's computer, but it just says other or, iPhone, and you type in the chat, "Hi, Jake Waterman here," and I have heard from multiple sources across the AFL at different clubs that for the rest of that year and going onwards, when they have Zoom meetings with the AFLPA, blokes will shut their computer off, shut their name off and go, "Hi, Jake Waterman here." You might have a St Kilda Zoom meeting with the AFLPA that Jake Waterman's asking a question.
And the funniest thing about it was, I'm not kidding here. You can't overstate this. So the people that were commenting, Scott Pendlebury's, Trent Cotchin's, the big dogs of the AFL, Dangerfield,
everyone.
saying, "Boys, I think this would be realistic. We should think through it. Or no, we can't do this." And then it just goes, Jake Waterman here.
And 40 games for West Coast, 22 years old. Hey guys, Jake Waterman here. I think this idea sucks.
And it got to the stage, I can't get over this, it got to the stage where, as we were doing it, there was about 35 messages, people from other clubs just like Jake, and it just became the ear, like ERA, Jake Waterman ear. Oh my God.
There's 900 people on this call, and 50 of them would have been Jake Waterman.
Oh, it was so good, so good.
Hey, speaking of Snake, gee, it was good on the weekend.
Yeah,
no hair, see?
No hair,
mullet gone.
And just tore it to bits. It helped that he got put behind the ball, padded the stats a bit, phenomenal up forward and just excellent.
Yeah, he's a waffle goat. He
4 goals, 30 touches. Thanks for coming.
Nick Revolt in his prime-like type of game.
Yeah, yep. He was very, very... that's a tremendous comparison, but he was excellent, old Jake. Very, very good.
Turn our attention to the win over in Adelaide. Much needed after 3 losses, but really solid. A bit of a tardy start. What turned it around?
Probably just the consistency over the 4 quarters. I thought we were pretty good in the first quarter. It was a bit of a scrappy day, so if you looked at the ball movement from both sides, it was good, but the key forwards didn't tend to get on the end of it, and the way we play generally, a lot of our goals are kicked by our key forwards, and thankfully some of our smalls really stood up on the day. Liam kicked 3 goals, 4. Petrocelli had 20 touches and 2 goals, probably his second best game at AFL, and the man of the hour, Jamie Cripps, with a 5er, a Michelle, the first Michelle for a long time. He had one early in his career, but all the smalls really came to play and helped us big boys get through the game.
10 coaches' votes. What do you have? 12 score involvements as well. Simo mentioned something on the Ask Simo, which people can see online on the club socials as well, that the venue, he talked about it because Cripper said it's the best surface in the competition, Adelaide Oval. Do you agree?
I do agree, yeah.
And Simo reckons they spray something on it.
Yeah, I think they spray an anti-dew or something, but it wasn't that noticeable. So I think it's played up a little bit, whereas some other night games, I didn't realise, I wasn't playing thinking, the ball's so dry here, it's so easy to mark. Maybe for the smaller players where the ball's rolling along the deck and ground balls are a really important facet of the game, but for me, I didn't really realise it. But one of the top 3 grounds in the AFL, the best the grass surface the best in the competition, but whole ground combined, I still have, unfortunately, the MCG 1, Optus 2, Adelaide Oval 3.
All righty, still to come, Jeremy McGovern stepping out for game 150. He's going to join us. You're going to get the hip and shoulder out.
Yeah, bump me out.
Yeah, forward out and defender in. And what about Connor Westerberg? Now, you've played with Connor.
Oh, man.
You know, and you.
Westy.
I played with
Yeah,
Connor.
exactly right.
Yeah,
you both have.
we both
at all
have.
levels. Well, it was a great day.
It was.
Jeez, he was good.
He was good. So for those who don't know, Connor and I started playing together at West Perth when we were 13. We played 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s, and then all of our Colts footy together. Then we played state 18s together, and I was fortunate enough to get drafted, and he was very stiff, didn't get picked up, and has been toiling away at West Perth for the last 4 years, and finally gets his opportunity. And boy, does he take it or what? I know we pumped up Luke
Goodness
Edwards
gracious me,
playing well against Richmond when he had his first real game under the lights. Connor West comes out firing.
Yeah, he was great. He for a bloke that so he played. He did get a bit of go. He did get some time on ball, which was really, really good. I love when debutants can play in their preferred position, but did spend a lot of the time in that, we call it the doom role,
The graveyard shift,
and and really worked. I think he's got
That's half forward, yeah?
half forward role. He certainly has the best work rate in the waffle when he comes back. He runs back forward defensively, he tackles. He's just as fit as a fiddle, but just looked like a bloke that was desperate for to prove himself, and had every opportunity and just took it, and it was so good to see. Hunted the footy, was contested, was strong, was good with the ball, and just a really, really, really good first game.
That's the way he's always been as well. He's always been such an honest player, and I think when, especially you get to AFL level, everyone's got a lot of talent, and this is not me saying he's not a talented player, because he obviously is, but he's so honest and he gives 100% effort to every contest. All he can do for the team, he will do, and you just need blokes like this in an AFL lineup.
We mentioned it last week when I gave Shannon Hearn a couple of votes in the Hammer Time Awards.
Wonder if he'll feature again.
Yeah, we'll have a look when we go. But I think when you get a player that, regardless of whether you're 50 points down or 100 points up, will play the same. I think that's, I've played limited games with Westy, but he doesn't at any point look like he takes the foot off the gas.
Yeah, we may have mentioned it before. Interviewed his dad, Robbie, of course, Sandover medalist and played at the club. And I said, well, what was the turning point? He said, well, I don't know if it was the turning point, but I gave him some advice when he tried too hard, and there was that genuine disappointment that he wasn't getting drafted. He said, just go and eat chocolate and drink beers with your mates.
Yeah.
We will come. Just go and play. And he's done so. Apparently, Connor went to the club and said, do we have any space on the plane home? And they got Dad, Mum, the three sisters, and the girlfriend on the plane. Otherwise, they were going to stay an extra night.
Yep, everyone in the hugs and kisses. He also had a couple of mates over, so they stayed in Adelaide because I think they had a couple sherbats in the night on the town, and I'm not sure if they got back in time.
A couple of barts,
which we love. But yeah, unfortunately for people that are stuck in Adelaide, you're stuck in Adelaide.
That's just unfortunately the way it is. So I haven't left, so I'm all right. I'm feeling pretty good.
Nat's 200th game, and interesting enough, he said that his brother, his twin, was going to come over from Melbourne to heckle Riley O'Brien over the fence, but he couldn't get there. He said he had a few one-liners all set for him. That little banter, that little head-to-head battle continues.
Yeah, it does. And Riley O'Brien's a really, really good footballer. I think he's a really well-rounded ruckman. So you get ruckmen that are good in one aspect of the game, but by all reports, a great runner, good in the air, good at ground level, and really gives it all in the contest. And really becoming one of I think there's the premier 3 ruckmen in the competition. So you've got your Max Gawn, Brodie Grundy, and Nick Naitanui.
Yep.
And I think there's the
Sean
next
Darcy under that.
I think the next layer is the Sean Darcy,
Riley O'Brien,
and Toddy Goldstein.
What about our guy Reg Hickey?
Yeah, Reg Hickey's been very, very good, hasn't he?
He's been great.
Yeah.
But you are right. He was. It is a great rivalry. Jeez, didn't Nick play well for his 200th?
Oh, he always plays well.
Yeah,
he's just winning the best and fairest by so much.
Touch wood. But he was excellent on the weekend. So very well done.
A lot of words out of my Adelaide counterparts over there saying the hardest thing for Adelaide Crows fans wasn't the actual loss. It was seeing Tyson Edwards wearing
son.
West Coast Eagles.
Was he?
Oh, yeah, that would have been tough.
Was he in the crowd wearing West Coast Eagles stuff?
Yeah, scarf on apparently.
Oh,
Wow.
that would have hurt him.
That would hurt.
That would have killed him.
He's an absolute icon.
He's played 320 games? It's there or thereabouts for Adelaide?
Well,
Jeez, that'd be hard.
I didn't realise it wasn't made a big enough deal out of Luke Edwards' first game. Do you know which famous Australian sports personality was in the rooms before the game?
I don't, but I'll guess. Can I guess?
Yes.
Leighton Hewitt?
Leighton Hewitt. Adelaide.
What?
Leighton Hewitt is Tyson Edwards' godfather.
Oh!
So best friends with Tyson, grew up together, Leighton and Tyson.
Hang on, so he's Luke Edwards' godfather.
So he's Luke Edwards' godfather.
My goodness
No wonder he's so
me.
composed under their bright lights. But yeah.
Wow.
And he is Adelaide's #1 ticket holder, and he was also wearing an Eagles apparel apparently.
Goodness
which is a
gracious
tough
me.
day for the Crows, really.
Come on, how about that?
But yeah, there's a little factoid for you if
Wow,
you
excellent stuff.
didn't know that.
Bailey Williams in, of course, with JK, and then there's all the talk, of course, we're recording this on Tuesday. It won't be too long before we know whether Boots is going to play, but calf awareness. Now, that raised a subject with Pav, and you and I are across this, Hammer. Matthew Pavlich said on radio on Monday that he thinks that clubs are exploiting the Medi-Sub, and that maybe the Eagles exploited it against the Crows. How do we reflect on the Medi-Sub, how it's gone? We're now 18 rounds in. We've had this discussion
We
a little
spoke
bit
about
before.
this at the start of the year.
Yeah, we
the
did.
ability
We
to
did.
potentially exploit it. I don't think Boots was an exploitation of the rule. I think I'm not sure where he scans or where he's at, but he's a bloke who had a history of soft tissue injuries around that area, and whether it's a real bad one or whether it's nothing, it's certainly his calibre of player and the history that he has. If there's any awareness there, you'd be very cautious.
So I'd be interested in the definition of what's acceptable and what's not. I'm pretty sure it's if you have a scan the next day and anything shows up, then it's validated and you're fine.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure how you can ever catch people out because everyone would have someone in the team going into a game. I reckon almost everyone would go into a game carrying some sort of niggle.
Oh, yeah. You could scan every player on a list and
you
there
can
would
find
be
something.
something that'd be like, hey, you probably should rest that. If you're a normal human, if you're not an athlete that needs to do this as a profession, you should probably rest that up for a week. Like, mate, you could go under the scan and you'd be put on ice for a year.
Yeah, so say I'm having a stinker, which all reports I was on the weekend as well. Don't you worry about that. But I could, and we say we want to play smaller, I could logistically come off.
Say your shoulder sore.
Yeah, shoulder sore.
Scan me up.
Scan me up. Oh, yep, he's got a sore shoulder. He got up for the game on the weekend. He's ready to play. That's how it is, and I don't really understand how it can be changed. I would prefer the Medi-Sub just to be for concussions. But again, that's why it was brought in.
Yeah.
Concussions in the preseason. I understand with long-term injuries as well, it is important that if you have a serious injury in the first quarter, grand final day is a great example.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to be one down on the bench for 4 quarters of grand final.
No, but it's a tough one. I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. You're never going to get it right.
Yeah, you're dead right. It's a system that is open for exploitation, and it can't be perfect in my eyes.
Did the AFL override the Adelaide Crows doctors for Tom Doedee? I think they might have.
Yep.
Because he got concussion.
Yep.
And then they said he was all clear, and they said, no. He went off with concussion. He stays off with concussion. He doesn't play the next week with concussion.
Well, yeah, it's I think that's one thing they've been hard and fast on is the mandatory 12 days. And now, good on them for sticking to it.
You touched on your game against Adelaide. Give me one word to describe your afternoon against the Crows.
Frustrating, personally. I tried really hard, and I thought I got into some good positions and got my hands to it, but it just wasn't my day. They defended me really well, and I'm working through some things. I probably, without pumping myself up, I feel like I've probably got more acclaim throughout the competition as the season's gone on, so teams are probably putting a bit more research and work into you, and I think most players, as they come through, when they start to perform better, other teams will start to notice that and therefore will put more work into you, which can make it more difficult to succeed. So that started to happen to me, so I'm working through it at the moment, but getting the team win was important, and I also thought I played a role for my side. So,
give our listeners to Coast. We're here for West Coast Health and High Performance, westcoasthealth.com.au. When you talk about teams putting more effort into you, and that would be all the pre-planning, when you're on the ground, do you feel like structurally the opposition or the way that they're communicating with each other, it's when you're just talking about yourself, just put your blinkers on, you're only talking about yourself, that you can feel what they're doing is aimed at nullifying you?
Yeah, there are situations, but I'm more so reticent to say it only happens to me. It happens to probably, I assume, half the players that play every single week. So Jack Darling will get it every week.
Yep.
Josh Kennedy gets it every week. Liam Ryan gets it every week. I'm sure they probably put thought and work into Jamie Cripps every week. And then you've got Jeremy McGovern every single week. They'd have a game plan for him. Luke Shuey, Nick Naitanui. So I mean, a lot of guys get a lot more work put into than myself. But
do you hear it and see it?
Yeah, you do. You can understand what's happening, and it's also the style of play. So it might not be one individual, but we're a tall forward line. Obviously, we weren't as tall on the weekend with JK going down. and not having an extra forward in. We've played with 3 tall forwards and a second ruckman at times, so they probably know, well, their contested marking's a strength, let's come over in the air and help each other out. Yep. So you can feel it, but it's not necessarily, that's just to stop so-and-so. It's just to help the overall team.
Yeah, it's also, mate, as if I might speak, I am going to pump your tyres up a little bit here. It is a very good reflection of where you're at, I think. I mean, you started the season like a house on fire, and you've continued to have a very, very good year. You've developed, you've played 50 games now. You are starting to establish yourself as a dominant forward in the competition, and the fact that you've been able to do that under Josh Kennedy and under Jack Darling and be at a position now where teams are coming in and saying, hang on a minute, we've got to put a bit of work into you, shows where you're at, and it is a good problem to have. I mean, you'd much rather have that problem and be playing, every week and you're in a position where you're playing good footy. And the good thing is you've got the ability and have done throughout the year to come over that. You're obviously working on things, you're working on your strengths, but you've got that ability to go above and beyond. Blokes are always going to put work into you now, and unfortunately you're at a position where, you might play 100, 200 more games, whatever, you're going to have that attention for the rest of your career, and so it's something you just deal with. But, yeah, mate, it's a very good reflection of where you're at, I think.
I feel like the AFL's a bit like you've always got to adapt, otherwise you'll drown. So every year you've got to come out with something else, or you've got to keep becoming a better athlete or a more well-rounded player, whether it's mentally. And I think a lot of it's physical in the first probably 6 to 8 years of your career, getting stronger, getting used to going up against bigger bodies. And after that, when you get older, it's all the mental tweaks, understanding the game a little bit more.
And you'll figure out you'll figure out, blokes, if someone wants to cut your run off for a jump and he stands in front, you'll figure out ways to get around that.
Yep.
I mean, it just happens. Andrew, my little brother, he got tagged a couple of times at the start of this year, so he had to work out a few things. And that's where you bounce off your senior players. I mean, you're very, very lucky and fortunate in the position where you've got two of probably the best duo of tall forwards in the last 10 years, and you can bounce that thing. They've certainly been through this and more, so you definitely have some good blokes to bounce ideas off of how to get over it. But no, mate, a good problem to have.
Still to come, who are you? We're going to do that with Jeremy McGovern. He's going to be our coast to coast guest in a little time, but in the meantime, let's do this.
Welcome. Yes, the Hammer Time votes. Now, in my opinion, watching the game, there was some standout performances.
There was.
This was. I don't want to say. I say it every week that it was really, really hard to do, but it wasn't necessarily difficult this week. The only spot that I had contention
would be the one.
Was the one.
Yes. In
my opinion, there was a standout 3-vote getter. There was in my opinion, a pretty standout 2-vote getter, and then there was just a handful of blokes that could fill the one. And I think you're all going to, that we can talk here. Should he have got it? Should he have got it? Should he have got it? So in this situation, in this instance, I am going to work backwards. I think this is probably the one time that I can start with the 3-vote getters.
So Oz has written down his votes.
My prediction as to who I think would have got it, and you and me are pretty spot on and similar with how we think about the game.
Yep.
I've just shown Goss. I'd be interested to see how close I do get to it.
Understood. And I think, the good thing for you is there'll be a pretty clear-cut unsung hero because it's the bloke who just misses out.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, understood. Here we go. So we're going to start with the 3 votes, and now this is just a certainty. This is just about the best game I've ever seen him play. Was phenomenal, and I love goals, and he's kicked 5 of them. Jamie Cripps, what a performance. Oz, run us through what it was like on ground.
He was just the man, wasn't he? He was the man of the hour, forward 50 stoppages, crumbing goals, doing everything, and he had 25 touches. I mean, unbelievable, 12 score involvements. I'd just love to have a day like that one day, get that much of the ball and get on the end of it. I mean, it's one of those games where Eagles ball, so when we have the control of the ball, our offense was really good, and he's one of those players that plays a really sacrificial role, and sometimes and some days, you know what they say, it rains, it pours. He gets on the end of them and makes the most of a good day.
He could very easily, on the weekend, have done exactly the same amount of running, run to the exact same spots, done every single thing the same, and walked off with 12 and 2.
Yep.
Very, very easily, and that's why I think he's such an underrated player, because he does that every week. This week he comes off and has 25 and 5, and everyone's like, the best game ever, Cripper's amazing. But he does that every week. He's in the same positions every week. He gets himself to that spot. It's just whether he gets used or not. So I just think people are very quick to underrate the man, but he was phenomenal on the weekend, and very, very good on him, and well-deserved that things came off. So there's my 3 votes.
Yep.
Tick, certainty. 2 votes, another certainty.
And Monty.
Shannon Hearn was just phenomenal. He is just so good at football. I mean, we'll ask Gov about him later because he's played a lot of football with him. But this bloke, he's played 297 games now.
Do you know who the 300th is? It the Derby?
Geez, wouldn't that be something special?
And he's won a couple.
And the Ross Glendenning Allen Medal specialist.
Yeah.
But this bloke has played so much football and just continues to do it and does it so well. He intercept marks. He sets himself up. He's so smart at the way he positions himself. He's so strong in the contest. He kicks the ball so well. He uses the ball so well. He brings others into the game. And he's just such you use the term backline general. He is just that personified.
How was the one-handed Dukes the big fella was taking? Unbelievable. 2 in a row in the first quarter.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he is. I mean, you can touch a bit more on what it's like to play with him, but from an outsider looking in, a very strong leader of the club, and is just a rock in defence, and you look to him when times are tough, and he's always reliable.
Absolutely, and a leader on field and off. A very, very levelled bloke, which I think is the thing he does so well, is he's so levelled and he doesn't ever get overawed by the occasion, or if he's going well, you don't know, and if he's going poorly, you wouldn't know. He's just the same bloke Monday to Friday every week, which is why he's such a great leader, and blokes look up to him.
Yep, and we've just looked it up. 298 games he's played, so he's not far off.
So this week we have St Kilda.
Yep,
and then next week we have Collingwood. Ooh.
Well, I mean, that'll be a big game.
It will be.
And fingers crossed things can go ahead and we can have it at Optus Stadium in front of however many thousand. And
I'd rest him against the Pies.
You'd rest him?
Rest him against the Pies and have it as the Derby.
How many people do you reckon will get at the game this weekend? Out of curiosity? Because we got 30,000, which is, by all accounts, really low. The lowest I reckon we've had for a while.
When was this? Against
North Melbourne.
Yeah, I know it was a rainy night.
Bucketed down but at the wrong time of day too.
Yes, but
people are going, do we go? Do we not go?
It was a Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah, Monday at 5:20 or 5:40 school holiday. I think you'll get, I would say, anywhere from 40 to 50,000.
Yeah.
Interesting conversation piece is they made it, I think we could have, I'm not sure what the exact percentage was, but if we played on the Sunday, we could have had 50 or 60% capacity.
Yeah.
And
that's about what you got.
Yeah, and that's what we got. And instead of playing in torrential rain, Sunday was 21 and sunshine and rainbow. So
and against one of the best wet weather teams statistically in the competition.
Okay, so yeah,
Alrighty.
Anyway,
one vote.
You agree on Hearn, and
we've agreed on Hearn. We've agreed on Cripps. Easy as. Yeah. Now the one vote getters there was, in my mind, 3 that I was tossing up between.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Who are they?
I've got 2 written down.
I've also got 2 written down. And I've crossed one of them off, and I've gone with the other one.
Go with the 3, the one, and you crossed off. That's
the one that I haven't even written down, and this is stiff that I haven't written him down. Nat Nui. I haven't put him. He's not getting the one vote. These are, I guess, honourable mentions. Just phenomenal for his 200th game. He has since the phone gate or whatever you'd like to call it, has risen to the occasion against Riley O, and was awesome. Phenomenal game.
Nat Nui, not on my list.
Yeah, so he's not on mine either.
Perfect.
With a name written down that has since been crossed off. So this isn't the one vote getter, another honourable mention. Jack Petruccelli. I thought he was, another one of those guys that is pressure forward, but he got the footy. He runs so hard. He's come such a long way this year, I think, from where he was to where he is now. Hit the scoreboard, but his influence in the forward line, he's starting to use he's the fastest bloke on our team by quite a while, I think, at top speed, and starting to really use it and, dominate games, dominate parts of games, and influence the scoreboard using that aspect.
I hate to say it, Hammer. 2 peas in the pod. Jack Petruccelli is my last honourable mention.
Wow, well then that leaves the one bloke who is a clear one vote getter in my opinion now, Liam Ryan.
Liam Ryan for me. I've circled it and had it for those looking at home. I've got it right.
Well, there you go. Excellent stuff. He was another one. I mean, I love goals. I love goals. 3 goals, 4. Could have kicked a few more, but he's one of those blokes. It did unintentional. He's one of those blokes that has fully come to terms with his ability and. While I said before, Petch has grown into it and he's starting to sort of show that in his game. Liam's had that for a little bit longer, an All-Australian, and just another one of those games that he has had where he is just everywhere. And, teams, we said before, teams try and put work in to stop blokes, and he's a guy that on his day, if he's going, you just can't physically stop him.
1 vote flying 2
2
votes,
votes,
Bung.
Hearn. 3
3
votes,
votes,
Jamie Cripps.
Cripps.
Don't ask me for the leaderboard
Well,
because
see,
I don't have it on me.
you've got to do the leaderboard.
Yeah, I don't have
I'll
it.
tell you what the leaderboard is. Nick Naitanui, second daylight.
Yeah, I think it's Nick. It's still, well, these three weren't anywhere near the conversation up top. So it's
Fair
3
enough.
votes. It's still winning Nick Naitanui. Still coming second is Tom Barras. And then third still is Tim Kelly.
And then am I fourth?
I think you might be. Yeah, you might be equal fourth.
Yeah.
You might be equal fourth with Gaffey. I'll get the leaderboard for next week. I promise you that.
Look for me to come home with a wet sail.
Yeah, I promise you
I've
that.
got a feeling.
The podium doesn't have a fourth step.
No,
I'll tell you what, if I come fourth, it will.
Yeah, it certainly will. I'll be making a plaque. Now, Ozzy, on to you, mate, with the unsung hero.
Here it is.
He is the one that was crossed off last for me. It's an obvious one, but you touched on it. Jack Petruccelli, a close friend of both of ours,
No question.
drafted the same year as us, and I don't want to say the question mark for him, but it was always the consistency piece with the two-way running, and he's really started to bring that really consistently with a lack of a better word, all year. This has by far been his most consistent year of
no
football.
question.
The only times he's missed is through injury, and he's almost pretty much come straight back into the side and performed a really important role. He's been terrific. He's a much developed player, and he's a more well-rounded person, I think, both of us knowing him personally. Yep. And just proud of the development he's had. This is his second unsung hero of the year. I think becoming equal with Jakey Waterman as the only two-time unsung heroes. So congratulations to you, and you're currently leading the unsung hero.
Yeah, and
the award no one wants.
Yeah, the award no one wants. But for a bloke that, he has had he's put in a lot of work off the field to get, and he's put in a lot of training to get where he is. He spent, I think, 2 or 3 years in the Gavin Bell School of Kicking.
Yep.
And that's paying off. He's hitting the scoreboard. He's kicking goals at pace, which I've seen him at training over my 3 years at the club. I would have, I reckon 100 hours in my 3 years. That's at a minimum of him from 50, getting the ball, bouncing, and then just running, and kicking goals from 30, 25, 30 out, but just practicing that at speed, using the best attribute of his game to try and break games apart. And he's starting to do that. He's really doing it at a consistent level this year. So a tremendous unsung hero.
Is he a bit of the barometer of the crowd? When Jack's up and about, we love Jack.
Yeah,
And when Jack's turning it over or, just having a tough day. Like
They
everybody.
hate Jack, yeah.
They jump on Jack, don't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I think it's just that when you see how good he can be and you don't get that every week, people get frustrated, which is hard because people adjust. And as we've spoken about, people adjust to take away your strength. So it's a tough one. And it's funny, we do have some people, the fans do have a couple of people that they just seriously do not like.
Yep.
But you get that.
You do get that, and unfortunately that's Aussie rules footy. But no, teams adjust, but no, he was great.
No mention of Tommy Cole. I thought Tommy Cole was outstanding. I thought the back 6 and 7 were very good. I thought Tommy Cole was almost close to one of his best games for the footy club on the weekend.
Agree, yep. They were all very good, but good, not great. You need to be great to be in the votes.
To be in the Howard votes.
Especially in a game like that. In all seriousness, in a good game where a lot of the team plays well, it's tough to get in the votes.
Steve Bandy Thumperlicious was at his all-time best for the Subiaco versus Waffle Eagles on the weekend. I thought his commentary, you would have got it on the live stream and can still track it down on our Facebook.
It was very good.
It was very good. And Vards went off. I thought he'd basically broken his arm and sat on the bench, and there was medical staff. And I see Tux was out of retirement too.
Yeah, so we had
came out.
Lara was our physio. She had something on, couldn't be there, and organised it a couple of weeks in advance and told me the other week, you're going to get Tux back next week. Unreal.
Yeah.
Big Paul
How
Tucker.
was he? Didn't do much?
He was great, mate. He
was
was
great?
great. Strapped my knee, beautiful. He was
Would
great.
have taken you half an hour to get your knee strapped.
Nah, mate, he was right on the ball. Hasn't skipped a beat, old Tux.
He got a corked wrist.
Vards.
That's the reason he went. I thought he genuinely broken
his arm.
He was pointing at it. And I thought he'd broken whatever one of those bones is, above the wrist. He was pointing at it and sat down, a scaphoid or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he sat down. And I thought, that's the end of him. And this is huge.
Yep.
And he had taped up. He was out there and he was important.
A stinger in the wrist.
That ulnar nerve that goes down the inside of your wrist is a shocker to get a knock on. That funny bone that sometimes you can get from your elbow, you can get that nerve throughout your arm and is a stinker to get hit.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And Delahunty didn't play because he went to Adelaide. Did you have any idea why he wasn't there? And did you know he wasn't going to be there?
No, I had no idea.
So he's Sandover Medalist, superstar ruckman, and thanks heavens he wasn't there. But he was withdrawn because he went to Adelaide and crossed literally a K over the border to see his family member. Had to do 14 days.
Unlucky, Della.
Speaking of Della's family, does anyone know the AFL player that he's cousins with?
Oh, give me a team.
Richmond.
Shane Edwards.
Tom Lynch.
Tom Lynch.
Tom
There
Lynch's
you go.
cousin. There you go. There's another factoid for you for today.
Very good.
I'm on the
Useless
I'm on the
AFL
ball as
stats.
well.
Good fresh. That's why you're leaving us
Yeah.
with plenty because you're about to go out the door in a moment.
Correct, yes.
No, that's that is tremendous useless AFL stats.
When you talked about earlier whether we should put a pin in the season just for a brief moment and recalibrate and realign, we saw that with the emotion spilling over with John Longmire, didn't we? Where the Sydney Swans, they had the win, they had to make changes late, they lost their phys ed guy, they lost their, I think Giants lost 9 people, including their main stats guy who does the vision during the game in the coach's box. Both teams were decimated, and then the Sydney guys had to introduce 3 new players who'd played the day before. John Longmire was in tears after because of the effort the players put up. That's what COVID is doing to some teams.
It's unifying. And if you look at the silver lining, it unifies teams and brings people together, but it is tough. I understand there's the show must go on. The financial aspect of it is incredibly important, and what we want to do, and as footballers, we just want to play, and all we want to do is put out a product for people, because in the end of the day, we're in the entertainment industry, right?
No question.
All we do is put out a product for people to absorb and for it to be enjoyed. So the rules change and everything is purely to make the game more palatable and for more people to watch it. I just think long term, if this was to continue for a long period of time, would be tough. But I mean, the AFL and people higher up than us are doing an unbelievable job to keep us going and keep going as long as they can. But it'll get to a stage where I assume, I'm not sure how everything's going. SA shutting down. Rumours of Queensland having a couple of cases today. I'm not too sure about the validity of that. Yes, I'm getting nods.
Yep.
Obviously, Victoria's got cases. New South Wales is in a tough state.
We're the safe house.
We're the safe house.
We are, and it'll take 14 days to get here and safely. But I mean, I think it is. You spoke about a tipping point. I think we're just about there.
We'll just wait and see.
Is my opinion.
Very, very much so. And hats off to Virgin. I know I've had a number of functions here at the Footy Club over the last couple of weeks. They've done a remarkable job to make sure planes are in the right spot. And just tell us a bit about that setup, getting to and from Adelaide.
It was terrific. Yep, just a flight with just the team on it and family members. Nick Natanui's beautiful partner Brittany came over with us for Nick's 200th game, and then obviously Westy's family came back with us. So they're great. They're putting a lot of work in to help us. They're obviously a major sponsor, and we appreciate everything they do.
You're going to high-five Jeremy McGovern very, very shortly as you leave, and Gov is about to join us. He's champing at the bit at the door.
A couple of neighbourinos. If those who didn't know, we are neighbourinos.
No, but how far are you from?
I am 2 houses next door to him.
Yeah, just a real short, a 60-degree wedge almost. Just a
Exactly
little
right.
Chaos?
Pitch and putt.
Is he a chaos neighbour?
He's very good. He's very quiet. And funny enough, I haven't seen him over for a cup of tea. He doesn't like the big fella. So no wonder why I'm getting kicked out for this conversation, because we don't get along.
Now, Oz...
That's a joke. That's a joke for anyone.
No, they do.
That's a joke.
Yeah,
that is a joke.
Now, we obviously get hit up on the socials a little bit. It's been a quiet week on the socials.
I've had
for me.
some.
I'll let you go. It has been a quiet week for me. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a couple of useless AFL stats, and I've been given a cracker. So, Connor West, the debutant on the weekend. A good effort by Connor West on debut, but he could not dethrone Richo for the record for most disposals on debut by AFL father-sons whose name matches their club.
Wow.
How about that? So, Riley West at the Bulldogs,
Yes.
14 disposals. Plays to the Western Bulldogs.
Obviously.
Riley West,
Yep.
3rd. Connor West, West Coast Eagles. Dad played how many games?
13, 14?
Yep.
13 games.
Still father-son. So he
Kicked a
had
goal
19
on Debut.
disposals. There you go. Matthew Richardson, Richo, 20 disposals. So he's one off.
Did Richo have 20 on debut?
Richo had 20 on debut.
That's massive for a key forward.
That's enormous,
Richo
yeah.
was a jet.
15 over the fence.
15 over the fence, yes.
Side of the boot.
Not
So
too bad.
there's a little useless AFL stat from the socials there, and that was all for my useless AFL stats.
They don't hit your socials up as hard when you have a win?
Yeah.
Go a bit quiet?
No, I actually did get some of the socials. So the first one's from our friend Dylan. He says, "Mate, we want the chainsaw. It's a work in progress. There's a chance." For those who've noticed, I doubt you will because it's whisper thin. I have been growing a little bit of a mo, but I've shaved it today.
It's whisper thin,
It
mate.
is whisper thin. And Connor James on Instagram obviously had the same thoughts and said, "Mate, the Sanchez ain't working. It got to go." So I saw that last night, and you know what? I went straight to the mirror and shaved it. From Sam Power, question for the podcast, have you personally always preferred being a forward during your career, or what exactly inspired you to be a forward?
Good question.
I loved Mark Lacroix growing up, and I was very, very similar in terms of undersized. We played for the same junior football club at Whitfords. We both played for West Perth, and I used to love him. I remember watching him play a waffle game when I would have been 6 or 7 years old in 2006 when he wasn't in the side. And no joke, he had like 5 goals and 30 touches, and he did that week in, week out for West Perth. Was one of the best waffle players of all time. Look up his stats.
Yeah,
You'll be perplexed.
I've remembered hearing the story about his waffle form in the year that he was knocking on the door. Hey mate, I've just had 6 games in a row of the best footy ever.
Yeah, and couldn't get inside. So I feel like I've always kind of been in a forwards mould. I think you got to be wired a certain way to be a forward, particularly a key forward. You're going to want to be the guy. So that answers that question.
You've had your flurries down back, and you go back every now and again. You played it a little bit in your first year in the waffle?
Yeah, I played down back. Well, I was drafted as a forward, and myself and Jared Brander were both, and he was on the track straight away, and I was injured, so he became the forward, and I went and played down back and made my debut at fullback against GWS, and then probably from halfway through 2018, they kind of moulded me towards being a forward, and if we had injuries or needed helps, but now we have Harry Edwards, one of the great developing keybacks in the competition.
I'm sure we'll ask we'll ask Gov about him on the in the next little bit.
That we will. Any more?
And just a quick one, a great friend of the podcast, Sam Butler.
Excellent.
So he's reached out to me, and Butts has said, look, mate, I understand you haven't been able to get your Instagram sorted because I've been trying to change to Oscar Allen 12.
You have.
And I've been messaging people. I can't do it for some reason. And Butts has introduced me with his friend called Craig. And his mate Craig, let me get the last name up actually. Let me get my WhatsApp here. His mate Craig, this sounds like a stitch up, I know.
It does.
His mate Craig. But if you want to go ahead with the interchange, I can connect you to my Instagram friend in Singapore. She has sent through what you need to do. And he sent a LinkedIn to...
Click it. Click it right now.
So
show me and click it. I'll give it to me and I'll click it.
And I've said, no worries, mate. What do I need to do here? And he says, I've just sent you her LinkedIn to prove to you this isn't a stitch-up.
Yep, understood.
And
why would Butsy be sending you a stitch-up?
Why would Butsy stitch me up? It's not something Butsy would ever do, right?
I wouldn't have thought so.
So now he goes, no worries. And he's actually said, Craig said, I'm worried you're going to think this is a stitch-up, but this is what you have to do. Step 1, you need to message my friend, send her an email. On that email, you need to include your current username, the username you want to have, and this is so shady.
Don't you say your password.
Bank account.
A photo of yourself holding your passport next to your face.
No, you cannot.
No, well, you can. That is, I mean... that is some...
Based on what? Why would you have to show your passport?
Yeah,
it'd be like a selfie of the passport and my face next to each other.
Sometimes you get to send photos of you got to send photos of driver's licenses and that sort of stuff. It definitely sounds sketchy.
Anyway, so...
You should do it.
I haven't done it yet, but I will.
Do it.
And another question was...
What are they going to do with your passport, seriously?
And then another question is, what Instagram name should I take? Should I take the Oscar Allen 12 or should I try something a little bit more adventurous? How my thoughts?
Like what?
So Butsy sent me through. You can read that hashtag he sent through at the bottom of that top message. What do you think of that one?
Hashtag blonde mamba.
Thoughts out of 10?
I like it.
You like it?
Wow.
So
blonde mamba.
So let me know if you think...
Hang on.
Yeah, you're ranking
That's
yourself to Kobe Bryant here
You're
a little
trying
bit.
to get number 12. Is
Yeah,
that right?
so all I want is to
Oscar
change
Allen's
2
12.
letters.
Let's just keep it simple.
Just keep it simple?
You're trying to get Oscar Allen 12. That's the whole idea of this whole process.
My main concern is I'm going to go onto I'll send this email, go onto my Instagram, and it'll just be hacked.
Yeah.
And it'll just be like nudes posted or something. I don't know. Like it'll be a disgrace, and my whole validity and career will be done.
Yep.
Yeah. Thoughts? Go through with it?
Well, I think it'd be hilarious.
Either way, it's a win for you.
If you did get hacked, it'd be so funny. Could you just make a new Instagram? That's too much hassle, isn't it, to go through?
Nah, that simply can't be done.
Yeah, it
simply can't be done.
Oh, well, geez.
Anyway,
I'd love you to go through with it because it'd be hilarious if you got hacked.
I will put a promise on. I will reach out.
Just try and do it. Say, hey, look, not overly comfortable sending my face and a passport, but here's my username and what I want to change it to. Can I just do it?
Voice of reason.
I could see this coming up in the fines meeting.
Oh, so? Mate, if it's worth it, 100%
It is.
worth
It is.
it.
You're right. I'll get back to you guys next week and the fans with a new Instagram. You probably wouldn't notice a difference. It's 2 numbers that will be changed, but it has taken a lot of effort. And now a friend of a friend of a friend is the person
and
that is contacted.
Speaking of a lot of effort, I think it's been 6 weeks, and I'm probably going to tease it for next week as well.
We haven't
We
gone
haven't given our
5, 4,
best
3, 2, 1.
5 Eagles of all time.
It's really, you had to chew on it. Could somehow someone be in the top 5 that didn't make the team?
Oh, that'd be tough, wouldn't it?
Well, if someone pulled your jumper.
Well, I didn't put Kempy in, and I've had a lot of. No, sorry, not Kempy.
You didn't have him in your team.
Yeah, I didn't have
He
him.
was
in my
your
team.
medical sub.
He was my medical sub, and I've had a lot of feedback of people saying he would be like a top 5 all-time Eagle. So I'll just have to wait and see. I've had my 5, but my 5 and 6s often changed over in the last couple of weeks.
I had since. I mean, see, this is.
Have you changed?
It seems ages ago, but yes, I have since. I mean, the first day that when we did our best 22, I showed you my top 5, and I have had a change.
I hope it's the change that I talked to you about.
It's a change that we've spoken about, but it's also I've added a new player, I've disregarded a player and added a player in.
I
So
think
there's been a change of position for one and a change of player for another.
I think I know the player that you've disregarded, and he's a great man and tough to disregard in the footy industry. But
Certainly. But that is just, we're teasing it again for next week.
anyway, in 6 weeks' time, we'll get our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 best Eagles.
No,
fans of all
I
time.
promise you right now that we'll do it next week.
Okay.
All right.
Absolute certainty, guarantee, promise.
Yeah, promise.
Money
Yeah.
back
We're locking
guarantee.
it in. We cannot
Locked
not
in.
do
Money
it.
back
And can you bring the leaderboard for Hammer Time?
I'll bring the. I
Yeah.
can
We
guarantee
can-
you, I'll bring the leaderboard. We're going to do our best 5
You
Eagles
do your
of all
Instagram
time.
12?
Oz will try.
Unless-
He'll try.
Yeah, I'll try. All I can give you is a try.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
A real hearty try.
Yeah.
Time to go through the interchange gates. You're swapping spots with Jeremy McGovern. Thanks, Ozzy.
Thank you very much,
Good
guys.
on you, Oz.
Have you got back or neck pain? Are you rehabbing a sports injury and need the best in physiotherapy care? Or are you dealing with arthritis pain and want to start feeling better? Visit West Coast Health and High Performance. It's located where the Eagles train at Mineral Resources Park. Their team of experts will design an individual program for you to get back on track with your health. West Coast Health and High Performance. Book an appointment today at westcoasthealth.com.au.
Well, we've been talking about our very big studio guest, and it's a milestone game this weekend for him, Hammer.
Yes, it is. Welcome to the broadcast desk, Jeremy McGovern.
Thanks for having me. It's first time in here. I'm excited. It's good.
Yep,
150 games, I'm here.
He walked in, he goes, "Oh, do you work in here, do you?" That's what you do. He had no idea about the coach. Have you not listened to the podcast?
I have listened
course
to
he
it.
has every week.
I have listened to it, but I didn't realise Goss had so much input into it, to be honest. I thought it was more Hammer and Oscar.
Well, there you
You're
go.
the third wheel, Goss.
Steers the ship, and we're the engine behind it. Now, 150 games this weekend, mate. Congratulations. That's a very big effort. 2011, you were drafted,
Yep.
and it hasn't been smooth sailing the whole way for you.
No, not exactly smooth sailing, no. If you compare myself to the boys I got drafted with, definitely not, with Gaffy and JD. So, yeah, hasn't been smooth sailing, but everyone's got different paths and different ways of getting there, and I'm just glad I could notch it up.
Yeah, I mean, it probably humanises you for the people listening at home. 4-time All-Australian, premiership player. Your introduction to football wasn't as glorified and as glamorous as you said, JD and Gaffy, who are have played pretty much since they got to the club. You were taken in the rookie draft, and then you had some off-field things to work through, some professionalism issues, if we can put it that way. There was I remember you telling me a story, a pre-season or an off-season, you've come back and you weren't in the best nick. Do you want to run the listeners through a little bit about that, Gov?
Yeah, yep. Oh, look, Hammer, I don't really, but I'll dabble into it for
You
you,
reckon
mate.
you've told this story a few times?
I think so, a couple of times. Obviously, I was off seasons are there to be enjoyed, obviously, within balance.
Yep.
We're professional athletes, but I did not have any ounce of professional athlete in me. I was very much enjoying myself to the point, where I put copious amounts of weight on, a lot of kilos. We laugh about it now because it's worked out. I put a lot of weight on. I was in Phuket with my mates for 2 weeks. I landed the day before the 2K time trial, and I hadn't done an ounce of running. I haven't done an ounce of anything, and I was 11 kilos overweight. And I thought this is my mindset, and this is where I was at. And I blame him, mates. I blame him because they never told me. I looked terrible. I actually thought I was going to be okay. I actually thought I was going to run all right. And then we did some 1Ks. It's Simo's first year.
Yeah.
We did some 1Ks, which just tick the legs over, get them done. I did one, and I kept up with everyone, and I was screaming. The body was screaming. And the second one, they told me to stop. I thought, they're just pulling me out for load. They're just looking after me. And then, got the tap on the shoulder from Simo, and we had a big meeting, and it all started from there.
Yeah,
Hammer. The penny dropped, and I had to work on it. So
So you've had two coaches in your time, Woosha, to start with, then Simo. You've had obviously you said you had a big conversation with Simo at that time. Your relationship with him has come a long way. You're not you're not the pet. The teacher's pet, but you certainly are one of his favourites and his go-tos. How have you found your relationship with him over, your time at West Coast?
It's been good. Obviously, when I first come in, when someone puts so much belief into you and trust into you to get you right and play you, that's sort of, I guess, where it stemmed from. Obviously, he sent me away, and I hated him at the time for it, but it was he did the right thing by me and the footy club as well to do the right thing. So, it's blossomed. We've got on pretty well, and he's helped me progress as a footy player, and obviously I'm playing 150 games now, so he's been a massive part of that and that progression.
Can you recall driving away from that meeting and when you were basically banished? Can you recall the conversations or your mindset or what you were thinking? Were you prepared to really fight to come back, or was there a part of you going, maybe I'm just not cut out for this?
I remember it. Yeah, that's vivid in my memory. That's for sure. I remember tearing up. I was crying. It was a pretty confronting meeting, and Simo and the stuff said he hit you straight between the eyes, and rightly so. But I left straight there and tearing up and calling Dad, and that's the hard thing, is when you're calling your folks who've put everything into it, got me this position, I've let them down. And Dad was pretty sweet with it, not sweet with it, but he was supportive and just said, you just got to knuckle down and go hard now. And then I literally left straight from there and went and bought a bike. I was on rookie payments back then, and they weren't much. I was not much at all. And I was scraping. I literally spent the last sort of bucks out of me bank account, bought a bike, and I started riding. This is how naive. I had no idea about anything. I rode from Hillary's down to Freo, and then looped back through the city and stuff. I don't know how many Ks it would have been. Plenty.
That's a pretty big ride.
I couldn't walk the next day. My groins were cooked, everything, and I had to run.
Yeah.
I had a running session. The next day, they got me straight into it, and I'm hobbling around the thing, and lucky Martin Nikoski had me, and he was looking after me, and I'm so grateful for that. But Nico's going, what's going on? I said, mate, I don't know how far I rode yesterday. He goes, well, this is the thing. You need to make sure you prepare for your running. So that's where it all sort of started for me.
Yeah. Albany boy, how you love getting back down there?
Yeah, I do. I love it. I don't get down there enough, but I love getting back down there when I can.
Yep, Albany boy up to Claremont. Brother played football. What was the competitive? We've spoken about competitive brothers. Obviously, I've got a few. But what was that relationship like growing up with you and Mitch? Yeah,
it was extremely competitive. I think it still is a little bit to this day. Actually,
yeah.
It still is. There's still that, you'd know, Hammer. There's still a little bit of underlying competitiveness there. But we were very much competitive. Probably too far.
What's the age gap between the two of you?
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
So,
right.
yeah.
You're 2 years the older?
Older, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I was winning everything. I still do, but Mitch can think otherwise. But we were very competitive, me and Mitch. So, which I think's helped us in good stead as well.
Yeah.
That competitive side, I think that's where it sort of stems from.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, we've got a game that we'll head on to in a second, but before we do, a couple of off-field things for you. Just some hobbies, some interests, mate.
Yeah.
You love fishing?
Yeah, love it.
Love fishing. What else is your go-to?
Mini golf?
No, not mini golf, Goss. We've had a couple of games of mini golf. You'd probably think I do it a fair bit by the way I play, because I'm very good. But
I spat it. I didn't hang around long enough.
You were a big sook. But fishing. I love getting out, going camping, and doing all that sort of stuff. I've got business sort of things on the outside.
Yep.
Obviously with the family now, and so a few things here and there.
Yeah.
The juggling act that is family, business and footy. I mean, that's difficult. The timing is difficult. The hub life is difficult. The world we're living in is difficult. I mean, obviously you need an understanding partner and family members and the like. Obviously you've got that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've got a very understanding partner, and in Maddie, and obviously the kids, they're pretty sweet with it. It's finding that balance. Goss is probably the hardest thing, is just that balance between obviously footy, business and family. But obviously family comes first, but I'm pretty lucky that my partner Maddie lets me work on that sort of business side of things. I think she understands the whole concept behind it.
Business is going gangbusters for you, okay? So you've got the
West End Plumbing, just by the way. A little plug. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, a little plug. This was not rehearsed today.
You thought it was TV, so you wore a windshield.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't even. I just always wear the West End gear.
Yeah. You do. Now, just in regards to you and I were having a conversation, business is so good for you and the team at West End, but you can't get enough tradies.
Yeah, it is very hard. I don't think it's just me, Goss, and our business. I think it's the industry, yeah. It's very, very hard to get some workers at the moment. But that's everywhere. That's just
Based
the way it is.
on what?
Oh, just
COVID attacks the elderly and the tradies.
Yes.
Apparently.
No,
it's just singling them out.
Just the recovery and mainly the housing sort of stuff, and the housing grants has really boosted that sort of side and that industry. And yeah, now there's plenty of work out there, and everyone's thriving. So it's just hard to get older workers, and then obviously the borders are closed, so we can't really get anyone else in.
So if you are a good plumber, you don't want any Tom, Dick and Harry who can just stick a hose on or put a washer in. You need someone with a bit of talent.
Yeah, of course.
They get in touch with you.
Get in touch.
Or Hammer on your socials, Hammer.
Yeah, get in touch with me on your socials, and I'll pass it on to Gov if you're a qualified. I'll pass it on to Gov if you're a qualified plumber. Now, mate, for a bloke who obviously listens to every single episode of the podcast, I'm sure you know what we're about to do. We have a mystery player or a who are you.
Yep.
Yeah, can we play the intro music? It's very part of this.
Sure.
It's the only bit I bring to the table.
Sure
That's
thing.
what Goss is here for. Go, Goss.
Beautiful. And there it was. Welcome back. Now, this is typically a player on the current list.
Okay.
What I've done this week, and anticipating Oscar was going to be there, is I've opened it up to the broader West Coast community. It is someone who is in Mineral Resources Park, works here.
Stitch me up.
I still think
That's
you'll
his
get
intention.
it. That's my intention.
Okay.
I think you'll get it. Now, the way it works is I give you 10 clues. 5 of them are football related, 5 of them are personal clues. They start very vague and then they will narrow in and get to the point where you hopefully can guess the person. So, clue number 1, and you can buzz in at any time. Clue number 1, played the exact same amount of home games as he has away games in his career. The whole point is it's vague. You can have a stab, but anyway.
Yep.
Number 2, the best thing he can buy under $50 is a Zinger bacon and cheese combo box. Or whatever the...
All right. Yeah, keep going.
Clue number 3. The most bounces he's had in a game of AFL football is 6.
Yep.
Who's your bouncer?
I'm thinking Gaffy.
Clue number 4. If he could remove one body part, just get rid of it. For complete irrelevance, it would be his belly button. Just a pointless body part. Doesn't need it.
I'm still thinking Gaffy.
Still thinking Gaffy, righto. Well, it's not Gaffy, so I'll give you that.
Change it up.
Clue number 5, and this will give you a hint as to the area of this place that I'm thinking. Clue number 5, he never played GWS. So that gives you a little hint. Never played GWS. Clue number 6, if he could be the title character in one movie, if he could be the main role in one movie, it would be Point Break.
Nikoski.
Mark Nikoski.
Yes!
Well done, Jeremy McGovern. Well done. Got it after 6, and it was pertinent you said his name before, but for those listening at home, the 7th clue was he wore 2 numbers in his AFL career. Number 8, which he was certain you would get, is he had hamstring surgery, and post-hamstring he cramped and ripped the hamstring off the bone again, had to have surgery again, and now boys wear a brace after they've had surgery. The 9th clue was he was at the club when you first arrived, and the 10th clue is he hasn't been clean-shaven with short hair for about 15 years.
There you go. I wouldn't pick Nico for a Zinger, man.
Yeah,
to be honest, that's what threw me. I thought
the Zinger box, man.
Yeah, the Zinger box. That's good. Very good.
There's been one slight change, which you wouldn't. He now vacuums his pool long ways. He goes from shallow to deep because it allows the vacuum to roll down rather than have to do it sideways. You learn
There you go.
Day, hey?
Is that how it's meant to happen?
That's the easiest way of vacuuming your pool is go shallow end, stand at the end, and go down the pool, not across
Vacuums
the
the
pool.
pool.
Or just get rid of all your trees, Gus. I've seen you've literally got the worst trees known to mankind.
They're not mine.
Around your pool.
They're my neighbours.
Next to a neighbour's trees.
Oh, we'll knock on the door, Gus.
Oh, no, don't worry, mate, he's not far away. Now, let's run through a couple of end-of-season footy trips, no families. If you could bring 4 teammates, who would they be?
Oh, yeah, this is
Current?
fun. Current or past, I reckon. Anything. Any teammate you've had.
Masto, Ginner, Paddy McGinnity, Tommy Barrass. Just a tough one.
That's a pretty handy 3 already.
Yeah, I'd bring those 3 for sure. I'd bring Coxie as well.
Coxie,
Dean
thought
Cox.
he'd be
Coxie's
getting the
always
run.
good.
Good fella, absolutely.
And where would you go?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the note there.
Phuket again?
Yeah, look, we'll stay away from Phuket. I reckon.
Life membership, what does it genuinely mean? What you've spoken about with Hammer, what does it actually mean to you?
It honestly means everything to me, to be honest. Whether I played at West Coast or at my local club in Albany or Claremont, I think everyone sort of strives to sort of be a life member of a footy club. Well, I do anyway. Obviously, won the flag, which is, don't get me wrong, it's awesome. But for me, yeah, becoming a life member and being part of the fabric of this footy club going forward forever is something extremely special. And I guess it's just a way to, for me personally, reflecting on it, is to thank everyone that I've done everything I can for all the people that have helped me get here, and mainly the footy club. So I've contributed 150 games to the footy club for them, give me a crack and believing in me. So I'm hoping I'll get some more games, but it absolutely means everything to me.
Harry Edwards looks like you, as in regards to the way he goes about playing the game, more in particular. You look at him and go, yep,
yeah,
I can see me in him and I can see a big future.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Definitely, he's a fair bit taller than me. He's long and he's big. He's big boy, big age. And yeah, as soon as he come in, I like the look of him and his temperament and the type of bloke he was. Obviously, he can play footy and that's why he's here. But a lot of it's between the ears, as we all know. And I think he carries himself really well. He's always looking to learn, but he's competitive. I think you need to be pretty competitive if you're going to, especially down back. You're going to be back when you're going to be extremely competitive. And he was obviously first game with him on the weekend I've had, which was awesome. I loved it, and I hopefully play a few more. Yeah. But he's going to be great for the footy club in the coming years.
He certainly will be. Now, obviously you've won a flag. You've hit your 150th this week. Football doesn't get much better than the way you've played the game and where you're at. Going forward, I mean, you walk past the names on the wall, you walk past photos of blokes that have played 200. Obviously, that's a goal in the future. But for your aspirations going forward now, in your stage of your career and where you're at, what are you trying to get out of your career from here on out? Is it giving back? Is it teaching? Is it coaching? Is it what are your goals and dreams for football from here on?
Yeah, I'll definitely, Hammer. I think you'd hit the nail on the head with a few of those things, and obviously. You come and you want to try to establish yourself, play one game, then play consistently.
Tick that one off. Thank you very much.
Yes, yeah.
1-0,
1-0. And then, play consistently, do that, and then obviously play as many games as you can and contribute every week. And I sort of guess I've sort of done that. Now it is trying to help this club move forward with help developing these young boys. Obviously, we still want to win premierships. That's what we're here for. Of course. So I'll be doing everything I can to do that, but also help develop these young boys.
Yeah, and I think you're in a position where West Coast have got such a strong, young contingent of backs coming through, and obviously you've made that position your own, but you can impart so much knowledge and wisdom on these young blokes.
Yeah, definitely. Forward. Yeah, we've got a good array of young boys coming through, and a lot of them have come through the Nikoski factory. Actually, there's been a lot. So if you
shouldn't be understated, should it? No, Martin Nikoski's role inside this football club.
No, and look, I'm probably the first one of it, and then if you dig a bit deeper and see how many have come through him, there's a fair few really good players have come out of the Nikoski factory, as he calls it. But, and rightly so. So I'll be looking to give back, Hammer, and help the young boys progress and just help the footy club progress in any way possible.
Just a text too from Lewis Jetta. He wants to know, will there be any acknowledgement of his role in the grand final saving Mark? He reckons you have given him no love publicly for his role.
Kidding me? Yeah, no. Of course, if I haven't, I apologise, Jets. You were the most important, integral part of that, of holding my check as much as possible while I could jump on him and mark it. So crucial, Jets. Thank you very much. I wouldn't be here without you. But, and Scully, if you ask Scully as well, he set that whole play up himself. I don't know how, but he did, apparently. So, thanks, Scully.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I've not got much else for you, Gov, before you head off, but I do want to ask, Oscar and I have been going over our best Eagles team of all time, and we still haven't actually hit our top 5 of all time.
It's been
a very, very long tease. Since 2011, you've been at the club, just 10 years. Who's the best player you've ever played with? Who's the best player you've ever seen, played against, played with?
It's a hard one for me because I reckon if I played more footy with a couple of older boys, I'd probably say them.
Yep.
But because I haven't, so like you Coxies, Darren Glasses, for example, Currys, I didn't play enough footy with them. But it's an easy one. Not easy, but Bunga.
Yep.
Bungahearn's probably the best I've played with. I've pretty much played every single game with him. So not just how good he is at football, the way he sees the game, his leadership, how calm he is in game, just the whole holistic football.
Yep.
Bungahearn.
And you are concerned that when you are captain, you get injured.
Yeah, we touch wood. That's sort of been the curse at the moment.
So what's going on with the 150? Will you toss the coin against St Kilda? Will you lead the team out? What's the plan?
If Boots isn't there, I'd like to think so, yeah. But I'm hoping Boots is out.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed he's playing. I'd rather not flip the coin and Boots play and put it that way.
There you go.
And last question, and thank you for coming in. We really appreciate it. And very good with Who Are You with Nico.
Excellent stuff.
There's three versions of Jeremy McGovern. One with the 2K time trial disaster, the last line of defence mark in a grand final, or a premiership player. Put them in order. When you walk away from this football club, what will people remember you as?
Certainly won't remember the first one.
You don't reckon?
Oh, they do.
I reckon they do. Guys, I'm with you, mate. I've got to shake that. I've got to come out and I've got to beat Gaffy in the 2K. That's what I've got to do.
We'll leave it there.
I don't know. I'm hoping. What was the last one?
Premiership
Player,
player.
4-time All-Australian.
I'm hoping a
Last
premiership.
line.
I'm hoping a premiership player.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping. But I don't know, guys. I'm with you. I'm probably 2K, a premiership player, and then that.
You're a star. Thank you for coming in. Good
Well
luck
done,
on the
Gov. Thanks,
150.
mate.
All the very best.
Thanks,
He's
guys.
an
I appreciate
absolute
it.
gun. It is Jeremy McGovern. And that leads us to signing off. And, of course, we appreciate Gov coming in. Oscar, well played by you. Thanks to Hammer as well. Thanks to West Coast Health and High Performance, westcoasthealth.com.au. It's goodbye from coast to coast.
Thank you very much. Good on you.